You kids have it too easy nowadays. Why, when I was a calf, we played. Hey everybody, it's Andrew the Moo, and here we are with another When I Was a Calf, We Played. This is Big Bird's Hide and Speak, starring Carol Spinney as Big Bird. Now, on the cartridge of this game, it says it's the first talking NES game. And this is a game that, came out in 1990. I was 6 years old at the time, and again, as I mentioned, huge fan of Sesame Street. Skating onto the scenes, Big Bird, and there's Robin. So...
let's play hide and speak. Choose a game.
So there you go. You got, I have no idea what these games are. I'll be honest, this is a game I don't think I ever played, even though I'm playing this for When I Was a Calf. Why don't we try Sunday? And there's Elmo. There's Count the Count. Loved Count the Count. You got Bert and, no, that was Ernie and then Grover. Go ahead and talk to me, Big Bird.
How many words can you make before the sun goes down? Ready? Go.
How many words can I make before the sun goes down? Hey. Alright, so this is going to be really slow going. Yes, thank you, M. Okay. O. And I think the word I'm looking for, the next letter is P.
P.
What does it say?
O. P. Mop. Wow.
All right, so that's how that works, and then Mop goes off into the sunset. And so I think the word that I'm looking for now is cap.
C.
But again, this falls in line with what Sesame Street did back in the day. They were all about learning, and so this would not be, the most exciting video game in the world to play to a lot of people. But for me, a 6-year-old who enjoyed reading and who enjoyed learning, this was the game for me.
P. Cat. Oh boy.
Oh boy, all right, that's right, Big Bird, oh boy. So it's going to continue to do this until, fan. Okay, that I would like fan. All right, so that's how Big Bird's speak and spell works, and the purpose behind this is FAN. You learn how to spell and how to say words and things of that nature. So again, you go, this is absolutely boring. That wasn't the purpose of this game. Sesame Street's big MO back in the day is they wanted a game where children could be entertained and at the same time learn. I mean, that was honestly the purpose. And really and truly, Sesame Street was created so that children in like the inner city who may not have certain abilities, I shouldn't say certain abilities, certain advantages that other kids might have, could learn how to do simple math and spell simple words and learn the alphabet. That was the main purpose of Sesame Street. It was always about learning. Okay, so now we're going to do hen. And this is taking a whole lot longer than I thought it would. That sun is taking its time to go down. I read a book, I can't remember who wrote it, called Street Gang, and it's the history of Sesame Street. I would recommend it to an extent, except for the fact that the guy that wrote it basically wrote you, when introducing you to a character, would tell you about their cousins, uncles, moms, sisters, nephews, nieces, dog, and how that dog was important. So that to me was kind of aggravating, but it taught me a lot about how Sesame Street came to be and things of that nature. And I don't know how many of you actually care as I say all this, but again, it was a good read for someone like me. But that was the big purpose behind Sesame Street, was to teach children. So these games, the purpose behind it is to teach children and teach them about the things they needed to know. Even teaching them to an extent that television, whereas not a bad thing, can be too much. Like there's a character who later was a warrior named Telly. When he first appeared on Sesame Street, he had like like a television antenna sticking out of his head. And he was constantly glued to the TV. You had Count the Count, who would teach you to count as, teaching you basic numbers. It was all about learning. So, as we go through this, you're talking to a guy who also owns a number of different, like, I have Sesame Street albums. And you go, albums? Yes, I have, like, Sesame Street records that I listen to every now and again. Because of the fact I'll do cleaning in a certain room, and I will listen to the Sesame Street record as it plays. I even have Sesame Street stuff on my computer, like from albums that I purchased. And say what you will at this point about me and the fact that I do the Sesame Street stuff, it's just who I am. So I think the next word is pet, and we're going to spell it. But I ate this stuff up as a child. And truth be told, like, I've watched or tried to watch some of the Sesame Street that comes on today, and I'll be honest with you, they're trying to keep everything modern, but I can't stand Sesame Street nowadays. Because to me, they've gone a long way out of what they wanted back in the day. They've tried to look for different cash cows. Like, at first, the cash cow was Big Bird. Big Bird was huge. And then after Big Bird, you had Elmo. And then after that, they tried a few other things. Like, they tried, I think, to make a icon out of Zoe. And there are a number of poor decisions made behind her. But, like, although I will say one thing I am grateful for is that home box office, HBO, is airing Sesame Street on it now and is paying for it, and then taking the episodes and airing them on, public, PBS, public broadcasting. So again, just learning. That's all this has ever been about with Sesame Street. And so these are things that I can get behind 100% because of that very fact. I think education is important. To the point that, that's just how I viewed things. Education for young children is important. I think to an extent a lot of people are teaching their kids the wrong things today. I see kids who can't even spell regular words nowadays. And like when I was growing up, there were so many people who were able to do great things simply because of television shows like this. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I'm going to be done with this in just a moment. We'll probably take a look at one other section of this in just a moment. I guarantee I'm probably going to reset the NES to do this. But we'll take a look at one other thing and then go from there with it.
Great.
But, again, I've got to ask, like, comment below. Do you ever watch Sesame Street when you were a child? Was it something that you liked? I think as I grew older, Barney the Dinosaur was getting big, and so maybe you watched Barney the Dinosaur, but did you ever watch public TV? Public broadcasting station, PBS? Were you a fan of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Sesame Street, Barney the Dinosaur, any of those shows? Sound off in the comment box below. I'd love to hear from you. Tex-Mex, Met. See if we can get Met in before the sun goes down. Kind of wonder what happens if you get a wrong word. Which, I guess we can try that on this last word before the sun has a chance to really go down. So we got this one word spelled, and is the sun going to go down on us? M-E-T, met. So let's try to spell a wrong word and see what that does for us in the game.
Go again.
Yeah, I'm going to go again. We're going to try... I know the word is supposed to be hat, but let's try tack.
Q. P.
T-A-Q.
I don't think that's a word. Go again.
How dare you tell me that's not a word? You know, where I'm from, tack is a very, very, not, whatever. So basically, he just tells you in a very polite manner, you know, I don't think that's right, just do it again. And that goes true to the character of Big Bird, as he's kind of a big child that doesn't like to make people angry or anything of that nature. So let's go ahead and let the sun go down at this point and see what all is available to us next. We got a couple of different words there, as you can see on there. I'm kind of curious if I could actually fill all that up. Hawk, pock, po, hop. All right.
H.
H, O,
Press
eh,
the
eh.
big black button to move little bird.
I did. Although I will say that's nice of him. Like, I couldn't move him, but he goes, if you couldn't figure out, he's just like, press the big black button. That would be the D-pad to move the little bird. To move, I think his name was Robin. No, his name is Little Bird. I called him Robin, but his name is Little Bird. All right, so, the sun has gone down.
Let's see. Mop. Cat. Fan. Net. Hen.
But you see the way that works? You would go back behind him, and he would, like, you know, can, and then you would repeat can. Pet, you would repeat pet. So, I mean, again, the MO behind this game was education and learning. Teaching children how to read, how to spell. Stuff like this was important back in the day. And it still is very, very important. You know, again, I got 2 cents I could use here as Big Bird hides. Ooh, and Grover's walking out the door. What's Grover about to do? Grover on his pogo stick, bouncing around. Oh, yeah. So I'm kind of curious now what happens if we get Elmo. All right, he's done. He's going back in the house. All right, Big Bird comes back. We're going to reset the game. Be back in just a moment, okay?
How many words?
All right, so we're skipping ahead. Skipping through. Come on, Big Bird. Tell me what to do. They call me Big Birdie. We're going to try the first one, I think. And the first one we've got, Elmo.
Elmo.
And tells you that's Elmo. And then,
Bert.
Bert. Helping you familiarize yourself with the characters of Sesame Street as well. Ernie. And Grover.
Grover.
So they tell you which one is which, and then Big Bird comes out and... Does he ask you to find which one?
Ernie.
All right, so we find Ernie. So what happens when we find Ernie? Hey!
Great. You found Ernie. Now,
Yes, I found Ernie.
Grover.
All right, find Grover. We'll just move over to Grover. We'll try this 1 or 2 times just to see if something different happens or if maybe one of the other characters comes out and does something. Because I'm now curious, like, does something happen when I did not hear who I was supposed to do? We'll try Elmo.
That's Elmo. Find Bert.
All right, find Bert. Like, I had the sound turned down on my headset, so I could not hear who it was. And I'm like, wait a minute. Yes, I found Bert.
Elmo.
All right, so we're looking for Elmo now. So, once I find all of them, what are they going to do? I mean, all right, so we found Elmo. Is something neat going to happen now that we found Elmo, or...
You found them all. Ernie.
I found them all.
Bert. Elmo.
Come on, dance for me. Someone dance for me. All right, Bidberg's going to go back into hiding. Grover comes out. No, not Grover again. I must see if there's another one. Let me have one more opportunity to see if someone else pops out of there. And if so, you know, we'll just see real quick. Is it going to be the same characters now, or is it going to be someone different?
Let's play again.
All right, we're playing again, but is it the same people? Oh, they're in different order. All right, so we're finding Grover first. They're in different order, and we'll just look and see what happens.
Yay!
Yay!
Grover.
Yes, I found Grover. Now, who do I need to find now? All right, now we need to look for Elmo, so we're going to pick him. And a lot of what this does is recognition. And, like, children, they're on a good start to learning if they can recognize businesses by their signs. So, you know, like, if a kid can recognize, say, a Walmart by its sign, or a Target, that's actually a good start as far as some of the learning and the recognition and whatnot. But that's what they're wanting you to do with this game, is recognition and things of that nature. So we need to find Ernie now. And there is Ernie there, nodding his head for us. So I'm curious. Come on, please don't be Grover. Don't be Grover. Don't be Grover. Don't be Grover. That's all I'm asking for right now. Because regardless what happens now, I'm going to call this an episode. All right, Elmo pops out as I close out this episode. This has been Andrew the Moo with another When I Was a Calf We Played, as he blows up a balloon. And he's floating off of the ground now. Is he floating away? Is he going to completely float away? Oh! All right, that's kind of cool. And again, I don't know how that actually would have worked, but there you go. So I wonder if maybe there's more than just Counter of Cookie Monster and others are here. Anyway, this has been Andrew the Moo. Hope you have a great day.